Welcome to Earth 2 Comic Cast, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. It's your boy Mo Crosby. I'm here with Roy, and we are going to be breaking down episode 3 of Moon Knight. What was the episode again? Something friend. I should know this, okay? I should know this because I set this up, so this is on me.
Friendly type?
Yes, the friendly type. Wow. Yeah, so we are here to talk about Moon Knight episode 3, the friendly type. Yeah, we're back. Episode 3, the friendly type. Thoughts on the episode?
I really enjoyed it. Surprise, surprise. I thought it was a good middle bridge episode that both did a good job of like expanding the Moon Knight universe mythos while also keeping the plot rolling, which sometimes some of these middle episodes of these Marvel shows have not always been successful at.
Right.
They either like kind of do one or the other. Like I think like Falcon the Winter Soldier really suffered from that, for example. Right. But this did a really good job, I think, of balancing both. So I really enjoyed it.
Right. I'm not. I liked. Okay, let me do this. The first half of the episode, I think we could have kind of left, but the end half of it, I that's where I feel like the show picked up. This episode picked up. I thought the first half was a little sluggish, was a little slow. It could also be, the excitement we had last week when we were discussing this. We said we're gonna probably get like flashbacks or something big, like some sort of this is who Mark is, or this is who Steven is. If anything, we got more of a Khonshu kind of like, it wasn't a backstory, just a little like
who Khonshu is.
So yeah. I think that kind of throws away the whole Khonshu might be the bad guy here from us.
Yeah, I definitely, at least for this season, I don't think Khonshu will be. I mean, that's like a huge twist.
Right. But so they could be saving that for episode 6, maybe the end of it.
Yeah,
it's something that it's gonna leave off a cliffhanger, and then we come back in season 2 to address that. But again, the first half of the episode, up until the first half of the episode, I didn't necessarily gel with. I think, again, like I said, I think it could have been the whole I need something about this character, or one of these characters at least. We got Khonshu. I think Khonshu is as much a big character, but I think Mark to me is, maybe a little backstory. But what's his name has been cast for the show, right?
Which guy?
Guy who killed Mark?
Bushwhacker, I think. Yes,
he's been cast. So I'm thinking, what are you really saving him for? Because it's also looking like he might be a major player, and he is supposed to be a major player in this. But again, that petty, that thing aside, I did enjoy the end of the episode, and I think the end of the episode, as strong as it was, kind of saved the episode for me. So
what do you consider the halfway breaking point? Like, is it when the other gods show up? Did you not like that sequence? Like, for you, what's the division between the weaker part and the stronger part?
Okay, so I think the whole first part of the episode is supposed to be this puzzle kind of solve thing, I think. And the other thing is the fight, the rooftop fight that the episode kind of opens with. I feel we've seen done before. I wasn't really impressed with it as much in episode 1, so I didn't really. Again, I was like, okay, I guess. But it does show something, though. There is something in it that I think is very interesting. I thought we should talk about. So this perfectly. I'll just throw the question to you. Do you think in the moments where Steven and Mark are kind of splitting, or that whole wake up sequence, Khonshu is taking over.
No, I think it's Jake.
So it's another
the third Moon Knight personality from the
right,
comics.
right, because we haven't.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of like setting up that it's not just Mark and Steven, right?
Right.
There's that small detail in the first episode
Yes.
that we got where somebody asked out the girl for Steven, when it's also this episode like clearly shows that Mark is committed to Lila. So like why would he be hitting on random women in Britain, right? So I think that's what it is. And also there's an interesting theory I was reading about like that it's actually not Mark that's in control in the first episode in the big action sequence with the driving. Right. That it's Jake, because in the comics Jake is a professional driver.
True.
And also he's like crazier, so like you know that he's like more street, like angrier than Mark, who's like the professional soldier. Yeah. And then like Steven in this, they're setting up as kind of like the like nice nerdy one. And that sort of like the more over the top violence is not Mark, but rather this third personality.
Yeah, because you see that on the rooftop in the fight, and he's smacking them around as opposed to like straight up murderizing them. And then you get the point where he wakes up, you know, that split thing wake up. It's like, killed them. And he even Mark himself is looking very confused. I think they go back and forth with him blaming Steven.
And I thought that it wasn't me, bro.
Like how like even myself was like, no, there's no way. But again, you know, cool action sequence it opens with. I just wasn't like, I wanted more story, if that makes sense. I wanted more story on the character, of Steven. You know, I'm sorry, not Steven, Mark. I wanted more story. I wanted some kind of backstory in this episode, because I feel like we have 3 more episodes, and you really have to. At some point, they're going to touch on it, right? And I don't want it to just be a touchstone point. You know, I want it to be a thing. You know, like, and I felt we're going to get that here. You know, so are you going to do that the next episode? Then now you'd have 2 more episodes to close the story and close it really nice. Again, Marvel hasn't really, in my opinion, messed up yet on their shows, so
they haven't stuck the landing perfectly, really. With
well,
almost any of them but Loki. Like,
yes. I think Loki hit all its points at the end. It stuck the landing. I had a very mixed opinion on the WandaVision ending. I kind of not very mixed, very left, right. I hated it.
It wasn't the best episode of the series.
It was not. It was so. I think because I'm more so like, okay, what does she get away with all of this? Like,
yeah, that part was.
It bothered me, so it just automatically like sunk the episode. But then again, we might see repercussions in Doctor Strange, because she is in that movie. Yeah, so it might be something they saved for that. Right. So I just again, I feel like you have 2 more episodes, about 45 minutes apiece.
It's 3 more episodes.
I'm sorry, 3 more episodes, about 45 minutes apiece. Give me Mark at some point, you know, like. But I did like the conversation with Layla and the lady who fixed the. There were points in the episode in the opening in the first half of the episode.
The like cold open, I thought did a very good job of establishing Layla's character.
Yes,
in a lot of. And where I disagree with you is, I think one of the things I really liked about this show is it's kept its like expedition dumps like very engaging, like that Layla scene.
Yes.
With the passport, I felt like was really good at like establishing who her character is and giving you more context. And I also thought you got a lot of Mark backstory when they were on the boat together. Like you kind of got, I think it like, because like if you know the Moon Knight story, like you know that like he's responsible for her dad's death.
Right.
Or if he's not responsible, he tried to stop it and gets killed. Right. Like that's not a spoiler in the sense
he's more
of like
involved than we know.
Right. That's the comic background, right? I'm just stating what the comic background is. This not me spoiling anything that like I know from the future, because I haven't seen the
yeah, no.
But like that's Mark's thing, right? He was a mercenary. He gets busted. You know, they try to steal something. He dies. Khonshu. It's like, nope, you're not dead. You're back. And that's like the impression that you're gonna that like I get from that. And I think there's some really good. What I guess for me is you got a really good sense of like who Mark is from Oscar Isaac's acting.
Yes.
Right? Particularly because this episode has the most switching from Mark to Steven. And then like Mark is all intense and Steven's very like laid back, and it's such like so amazing. Like
It
every
is.
time he switches, and it's like in both the sequence where they're in the pyramid, like, and he fights before the fighting where they're in the sarcophagus, and then at the end of the episode, I thought was really really amazing. And the
Yeah.
baseline for that is set in that Layla scene where it's like this is more like he's extremely like intense, like, and that's
So-
kind of his thing.
Yeah, so I'm 100% with you from the point when we get in the boat till we get to meet. From the point where we get in the boat, I think the episode was more engaging, and it actually, like, that whole scene again, as you said, some Mark story. I really, really loved. I actually really enjoyed the Giza scene, the pyramid scene.
With the gods, that was super good.
Yes,
like
I don't know why in my head I was thinking, "Where's Bast?" And I don't know why I did that.
I actually thought the same thing.
Okay, good.
But I think Bast might not be an Egyptian god.
Yes, right.
In the Marvel universe, right? Because they stole,
Yeah,
he got or she got culturally appropriated over to Wakanda.
Yes,
right. So,
but yeah, so that I was waiting, and the African lady, I think she ended up being Isis.
Yeah, I forget who they were. It was was Anubis there?
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and look.
Yeah, we should probably look that up. But I definitely heard Isis Osiris, I believe.
Yeah,
that was the one that like locked him when he was like gonna punch.
Yeah,
Harrow.
when he was gonna punch. Yeah,
I think that was supposed to be, but I don't think Anubis was there.
Yeah, they were missing a bunch of them. Moon Knight. Yeah, so I actually really enjoyed that scene, and I think I also enjoyed Harut. Was that what her name was? I forget.
The goddess of
love,
like music and love and stuff. Yeah. That the actress they cast to play the Avatar did a good job.
Yes, I thought that was amazing. I thought so again, and that scene was very powerful when she's like, okay, and I thought the scene of Mark projecting or Khonshu projecting through Mark and deciding to keep that gruff. It could be, it's again where she said, just let it happen, and he's probably fighting, and that's why it feels like that, and that's my impression of the scene. It was either because Mark, as you stated, Steven is very laid back. Mark is very intense, and Mark is one track with the whole okay, this is what this is what we need to do, so whatever you need me to do, whatever, just go ahead and go through it. As you said, Jake could be the person who's like, no, you don't get to take over. So I'm guessing Jake was fighting Khonshu, and that's what created that tension in Mark, and why he would tense up when he's speaking, and the tears. And I thought that was Oscar Isaac floored that for me. Okay.
Oh, he floored. That was one of the best. Like somebody has been possessed. Like acting.
Yes.
That you really got. Like, and I really appreciate the thing. I again 3 episodes in, I just like. Oscar Isaac like just leaning in is just and just like going with it is really like
he's selling it, and he's not. Yeah,
I think what was really powerful about that scene too is also like Harrow gaslighting Mark and then using his own struggles against him was very like a very real thing, right? Where there's this like God's criminal justice system refuses to believe this mentally ill person because they have troubles. Right. It's like it's a really great way of like paralleling struggles that people actually, who aren't superheroes but have this, DID, and the struggles that they have. I think was like really well done in a way that it both connects to real world issues but also furthers the plot and doesn't feel forced. And also lets Isaac and Hawk show off their like acting.
Yes.
Capabilities.
Again, Ethan Hawke, I don't think he's missed in this season at all. And every episode he's not missed. That's another person that floors it. And the God helps him. She's like, hey, and then we get this, we get everything that happens. So one thing, right? I'll just go ahead and say. So in that fight, I loved it. By the way, I hate cape fights because like when someone is wearing a cape and you have to fight them, because you're gonna have to grab the cape at some point. So now when you grab the cape, what's your next move? You're just gonna hold on to it, and he's really super strong, so you can't pull him. So you just stand there, and now you're dead. I thought that was hilarious.
It was good.
Right? No, so I go ahead.
No, interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the fight, but I just want to talk about the fight real quick. But if
Yeah,
we
of course.
get
I want to talk
into,
about the fight too. So.
okay, but I think we get to see what I also loved about this this scene right here, or this part of the show, is where Steven is finally going to just gonna listen to Mark, or at least they're gonna work together. And I thought that was tops. Again, Oscar Isaac just kills it as both, like, hey, okay. And I think Oscar Isaac's acting, physical acting that we actually can see when he decides to, okay, I guess, go ahead. What do you need me to do? Or what do you need from me? And I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I thought the acting was really amazing. What's so weird is, like, I liked that fight scene. It felt a little too forced though, like, because for me it's like there's this big pit and it's like I saw something like this, like, oh, he's gonna fight in that pit. Like it just felt like it's just like it didn't feel like an organic fight. For me, and I get it was probably budget reasons, like having a big open space like that is, I thought that the fight was cool and showed off like Mark's abilities really well, and it was kind of like a good first full Moon Knight fight. To give you a sense, like I assume that there's going to be like maybe, although he loses his powers at the end, so maybe there will maybe only be one more big Moon Knight fight, but there's going to be at least one more big Moon Knight fight. So you have like sort of a baseline of what Moon Knight can do, which I appreciated. But I thought it was a little like
we have
on
to
the
do
nose,
right. I mean,
I really like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. You are right though. As soon as I saw the open space, I'm like, there's no way you don't. But I did like it. And then he did the little cape jump, the Batman jump, and then his cape did the crescent. I thought that was really cool. I thought
it was
visuals,
cool. Oh, when he jumps down on there? Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I thought the visuals were amazing. Again, and it's a night fight. It's a night fight, and we all know how night fights, especially Falcon Winter Soldier, then fight at the end, murky. But it was well lit. You saw everything pretty much, and so I liked the fight.
Well, the question that they haven't really established is like, can Mark become wear the suit during the day? Like that's something that they haven't really shown.
Yeah, they haven't really shown.
Yeah, whether he can do that. But actually, the thing I liked most in that fight was the Layla versus the bodyguard. I actually thought that fight was
really cool.
Like I was very engaged in that even more than the Moon Knight part.
Yeah, I think it's
she takes the thing and I was like that. I was like,
you know what though?
Cool.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's her Moon Knight thing. That's her thing. That's her batarangs or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that was another I think this episode said, hey, we're gonna do some cloak and dagger, but some things are just gonna be in your face. You're not gonna be able to miss it. Because again, when we get to the end of the episode with the stars, and then I think that part of it was just amazing. So the fight happens. The best part in the fight to me is where Mark is punching the guard, and he's choking him, and he just breaks. And Steven takes over, and we get Mr. Knight, and I was crying because he's like, "Sorry, okay, let's chill out, time out." Oscar Isaac is really amazing, and I thought that was really funny. That was, just to break in the tension a little bit.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "Go ahead."
No, I said yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, breaking the tension a little bit, and then we get back to it because it's like, I actually can't fight, so.
I assume that Steven's gonna actually have a fight scene as Mr. Knight,
right?
At some point, right?
That would be cool. That would be cool because you just take the jacket off, roll the sleeves, and get at it. That would be actually fun if we get that. Fight ends. We move. We get you go grab the map pieces or whatever. And this is so we set up that Steven, Mark, they're gonna work together at some point. We set that up, right? And now we actually get to see it. It's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm out of my element. Go ahead. And I thought that was really cool. Again, Oscar Isaac, I don't know how, if they cut the scene or they just shot that straight, and he just, I would want to do, I would really want to see behind the scenes and like actually get like a interview. I just want to know if they're cutting or they're just saying, hey, just at this point you're now Steven, and does he like just morph into Steven? Because even the way he stands, the way, you know, everything is a little more hunched. Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
but again,
it's amazing.
It is amazing because he switches right then, you know, and okay, I don't know if they set up in the episode that Layla feels not necessarily like she looks at Steven and she kind of feels like bad for him, or she's like,
sort
of pity. Yeah,
maybe not pity, but sympathy. I think
sympathy.
I think because I think for her that might like really hammer home like Mark's problems. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when she's dealing with Mark, you can only see the sort of like things that he's in control of that he's done poorly. But when literally your husband switches into, like, legitimately switches entire personalities,
right,
it's very easy to be sympathetic at that point. When a way in which, like, when Mark is acting as Mark, it's much harder for her.
Oh, I think
that's how I read that scene.
I think so too. I missed something. Ethan Hawke comes to the open space, whatever, and he tries to get the maps as well.
Does he try to get the maps, or does he just destroy the sarcophagus so they can't get to it? Like, I don't, because he didn't like he could have sent his dudes to like go try and steal it, but he just kind of like purple energies it and it blows up, right? Like, I think he didn't know that the like map was like part of the rags or whatever.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to destroy the sarcophagus. But what was his? No, was that? I don't think that's his intentions. I think he wanted, because he goes, whatever they are offering you, I can offer you more, power and all the speech, and then So I think he wanted whatever it was, but because the guy didn't know himself, because he wasn't in there, because he didn't know, he just, and so I think at that point, Harrow just says, all right, we're just gonna destroy everything. It's easier that way, so they don't even find it. Now we get back to the desert scene after Steven takes over. He does his thing with the tape, and I was like, okay, this is brilliant. He's brilliant. And then this is another beautiful scene where Khonshu and Steven work together. And I thought, okay, so, which again led me to see that Khonshu might not be the bad guy, because he's like, you know, the whole, I think it's a twist. It's like, oh, he's not the bad guy. You feel bad for him. You know, it's like, oh, I remember that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you. I think Khonshu is a bad guy, but he may not be or a bad god, but he's not the bad guy. I don't think, at least in this season. I think at this point, I'm pretty convinced that Amit is gonna, you know, sort of be the end game.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be locked away for 1+2 episodes.
Right.
So like him not being there, he's just not gonna be there, right? For 2 episodes minimum, probably.
Right.
1 to 2 episodes.
He comes back episode 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Question now. You know, the episode ends. He's locked up. Harrow comes in and has that speech with him, or says to him, you know, this is your fault, or you're gonna get to see, you know. Again, Harrow's just bitter that Khonshu was like, I made a mistake, not you. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go find someone stronger than you, and I'm gonna do what you don't think I could do. Probably what it is. But question to you: do we meet Jake in any of these episodes? Because if you don't think so,
I think if we do, we meet him like there's some like scene, right, where like at the end, you know, they win, and like Mark and maybe like Mark and Steven come to terms with each other,
right?
And or maybe Mark is, you know, has his DID under control. Like, I don't know what the clinical like way you handle these things is, but sort of like Mark is in a good place at the end of the season, and you know, then it's revealed there's this third personality that neither he nor Steven know about, and you're like, and then that, you know, that's very like Marvel. It could be like even an after credits thing where it's
Right,
just like,
right. So, all right. So that's the episode. And again, like I said, the from the boat scene all the way through, I thought this is the episode I was looking for. No, it's powerful. It's emotional again because you get Mark and Layla in the boat. You get Layla, Harrow, and Mark in that scene. And Harrow's there's more to your dad's death. It opens with the emotionally with Layla and her dad's friend, and so the episode has a lot of emotions going through it. Actually, on top of the action and on top of the the levity that Steven provides, it has a lot going for it. So again, it's a good episode, but I just again wasn't. I can forget everything that happened till we get in the boat, and then I'm fine from there.
I mean that's fair. Like I think it's mostly like setting things up, right, and trying to give you a sense of like how Mark operates, and then like the Jake tease. I think is kind of what that does, and then the episode like really starts when he and Layla interact in the Cairo. Well, I guess that's not true because the God thing is before that, right?
What's the God thing?
Right?
Oh. Yes, because that's when he does the thing with the sky after the guy falls, right? Yeah,
to get the God's attention.
Yeah, to get the God's attention. Oh, I guess I was mixing it up then. So yeah.
Yeah, and then when he comes back from the Great Pyramid, I guess, or wherever he's chilling, that's when he runs into Layla again.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely see those like maybe first 10 minutes not being maybe as strong as the rest, but I think again, like a lot of the Marvel shows, I think particularly like I think WandaVision suffered from this problem in the sense that like a lot of its middle episodes were like really good, but were spinning their plates. Like it was just like we're gonna do a lot of really cool stuff and kind of nothing's gonna move forward. And the worst of this was Falcon the Winter Soldier, which definitely it's like middle episodes kind of like you're like, all right, like there's some cool character beats here, but we could like got to get moving or not moving because there's only 6 episodes. Like, what's the plan here? Loki was also a little bit like that, but a little less so. But I still think those first couple of episodes, like where they're on that planet together, he and Sylvie, like that episode like felt
that was
it felt like a long episode. Like
it did.
It pays off, but it's just like okay. This episode didn't feel that way. I think I felt like I was learning about the characters and the plot was moving forward, and I was pulled more into its mysteries, which again I'm really happy with. Like I think Moon Knight has gotten much stronger with each episode.
Yes, I'll say that again, because once we get past the gods, I think the episode actually moves a lot faster. Once we get past that god scene, but that god scene is so strong. It's so powerful, and it helps the episode again with as you said, Harrow gaslighting Mark and Khonshu. That was horrible. I actually was like, yo, you gotta die.
I mean, he's almost certainly gonna like bite it, like most Marvel villains do. But I don't imagine like where you go with this villain. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Unless you don't kill him and you bring him back, saying like, I don't see.
Like, I mean, because like you don't want to repeat the Amit thing again, right?
No.
And he's like so single-mindedly focused on that that I feel like I don't think Ethan Hawke wants to be doing more than one Marvel movie, just based on his or Marvel series based on his personality,
right?
And his like career trajectory in general. But I also just don't think like I think this character has a natural conclusion,
right?
That if like some Marvel villains don't, and they kill them off at the first movie. But I'm trying to think of one that's like a really good example of that.
Killmonger.
What?
Killmonger.
Oh, Killmonger. Yeah, Killmonger is a good one. But Killmonger, similar to this, like at least Killmonger's death to me felt satisfying for where Killmonger was in the movie.
Yes, but
whether or not
was it necessary? You're right.
It wasn't necessary. No, or fit the comics, right? Or I mean, same with Claw in that movie, right? They like burn through all of the interesting Black Panther villains in one movie. So we'll see who the villain is in the new one.
Right. And then like at this point, M'Baku's not a villain.
Yeah, I mean, Baku's not a villain, which is great. I think it's a great twist.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it's like, okay, I mean, that's why the rumors that it's going to be Atlantis is going to be the villains. Like, it's like, where do you go?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you either go deep into the like code stuff about Wakandan politics, which they could
I
do.
think would be great, but they are doing a show, so
Yeah,
I guess we get that in the show.
but,
Yeah.
I'm trying I guess they don't kill Sam Rockwell, but he's kind of been one or done.
Yeah, they didn't have to kill him.
There's Red Skull, who I guess he doesn't actually
He's
die.
not.
Yeah, they're not going to come back to Red Skull.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
But I mean, no, I think he's done because Steve Rogers isn't Cap anymore.
Yeah.
And not Bucky. Sam's villain is not. Right?
They're probably, yeah, I mean, like Serpent Society. Like the problem is there's like so many white supremacist villains that Captain America has fought, both Sam and Steve. So it's like, pick one. Is it going to be Hydra? Yeah, we've done a lot of Hydra.
Right.
Like it's not AIM, because they did AIM in that like bad way in Iron Man 3. So it's like, what, Serpent Society? Okay. Hate monger? Sure. Like,
I think there's so many ways to go with this. It's gonna be so good when it drops.
I'm excited for Cap 4.
So I think Anthony Mackie just confirmed that they're gonna start filming in like a week or a month or something. So I thought
he's doing one more thing before they do it. He's doing that like Comcast show, like based on Twisted Metal. That's what I had heard. Is that he has like one more thing?
I read it. It was a headline. I didn't confirm it.
Well, no, I'd also seen that too. And then someone was like, no, he's got to film this, like, what's Comcast's thing? Peacock. There we go. Yeah. Like, based on the video game series Twisted Metal. So he's got to film that, and then he's going to do 4. So,
okay.
But Moon Knight, I think, to go back to Moon Knight, I really hope that this makes me, what's interesting is I want to keep watching a Moon Knight show. I was thinking about this, like, I hope we get a second season of this show. I don't necessarily like, this hasn't made me like super excited for like Moon Knight in the MCU. Like there's some times when they like, I mean, like Captain Marvel is an example of this. Like I think Captain Marvel, the movie, like, which wasn't the best Marvel movie, but it was a good one. It made me like interested to see like, where do they take Carol going forward? Right. Or like WandaVision. Like at the end of it, I was like, all right, well, what is Wanda going to do in Doctor Strange? And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, same thing. It's like, okay, cool. We've got like who Sam is. Bucky's his sidekick. We're good. Like, cool. This is what the Cap status quo is. I'm like, I'm excited for when they show up again in a movie. This, I'm like, I don't really care if Moon Knight is like in the background of, I don't know, what would be the thing that he shows up in, something. And I don't care. Like, I'm not super interested in like, how does Moon Knight play off of Hulk, or I don't know who's still around that's going to be in the Avengers. Shang-Chi. Oh, Shang-Chi. That's another. It's like, oh, Shang-Chi. I'm excited to see he's in the Avengers now. Cool. Let's see what goes on with that. This, I'm like, I would watch way more Moon Knight, and I want Moon Knight to be in the MCU.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, maybe him and Doctor Strange. Well, but the problem is the Doctor Strange movie they're doing is so like, it's less the like spooky Doctor Strange and more the
right
like that shit Doctor Strange. And like, so if they did it like a Doctor Strange movie that's more focused on like the occult side of Doctor Strange.
The occult side and the horror elements.
Yeah, and the horror, that'd be cool. But like, maybe that would be Doctor Strange 3 or whatever. But you know, I'd much rather people come to Moon Knight, I guess, in a Moon Knight show, than me to watch Moon Knight go to one of these big.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope we don't get him in the MCU. Well, he is in the MCU, but I'm saying, when, you know, if he is in like a movie, let it just be like a passing thing, like say Ant-Man. How
I mean, him just randomly showing up in Ant-Man would be funny. Well, maybe I guess.
No. I was gonna say like a Anthony Mackie and Ant-Man. Not,
that would,
you know, just
I guess Blade would be a natural place for him to show up. That would be comfortable.
That would be very great, you know. But I also don't know if I want to watch like Moon Knight for 2 hours straight, if that makes sense, or 2.5 hours. I mean, I think that you could explore. I don't think you can explore a lot, say with the you know, the disorder with the characters, with Mark, with Steven. I don't think you can go as deep as we're getting in. Again, if they were telling this story in a movie, this would be the halfway point of the movie, and people would be like, "Ugh," But as a show, you can hypothesize, wait till next week, see what they do next week, and I think I enjoy Moon Knight split up like that, and so I hope that we just get them in the show, on the show side of things.
I agree. I think the only way to do they seem to be like treating the DID material like with as much respect as you can,
right?
With the setup being that one of them has superpowers, or two of them now have superpowers, right? And I don't think you can do that in a movie. Like I think if you did this,
rush through it,
and become what's that terrible one that everyone really that's and that Shyamalan one.
Was it Split? No, not Split. The third one.
The second one. Well, the second Unbreakable one, the one where he's like the center of it.
Split, and then
Split, yeah.
Glass.
Whatever, yeah. The Affinity War of them. People who mental health activists hate Split because it's just like it moves so fast and like
everything just and you don't actually get to spend any time with the characters or with the so it's I thought
pure exploitation and
right as good as James McAvoy was in it, I think a show would have done even better. So I like seeing it as a show. Watching this show in 2.5 hours won't do it as much justice. Won't do the character as much justice. So you explain the character, and if we do get him in a movie, get one of them, right? Get one of the one
Marc,
of the personalities, yes, and get Mark in like a Blade, and then Steven comes in to like mess things up, and then we get Mark back, and we get the two that we've established, right? Before, if they want to add another one, I would hate to see them add another one in the movie and then kind of come back to try to explain it to us on a TV show. So yeah, I'm okay with the show as it's going. I think again, outside of the problems of the very small chunk of episode, I think this is a very strong episode, and I like the way it went. I'm very interested in seeing where they go next week. I also want to see how the repercussions, or just did I say repercussions? What's the word I'm looking for? Repercussions?
Consequences? Yeah.
Consequences of the whole Khonshu not being there. Now Mark, Steven is they're vulnerable. Does Steven say, hey, you're the one that can fight, so you take over? Like, is that what we're gonna get? Are we gonna get that kind of cohabitation, or is it gonna still be a struggle? Because don't kill them. They're trying to kill us. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting. I think this episode did a good job of moving it forward to it rather being more than just them constantly fighting each other.
Right.
Which is something that is an issue that could, like, as a story, get a little tiresome. Like, if it's always like Mark, it's Mark, and then suddenly it's Steven, and then Mark. It's like.
Yeah, getting them to explore their strengths, it's something that I liked, because even in the main fight, Mr. Knight, Steven are there, and it's like, okay, no, take over, because I don't know what I'm doing. So that trust that is kind of being built here is what I want to see moving forward. So yeah, I can't wait to see what they have for us on episode 4. I'm really liking it as it goes. Thank you again for joining. Really, really appreciate you making the time. And are you going to be here for Miss Marvel?
Oh yeah, I'll be here for Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's over the summer too, so I'll
oh yeah, you you have no excuse not to be here. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And see you next week. Same moon time, same moon channel.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.